Lately I find myself out gazing at stars, hearing guitar.
Hey, what's going on, vinyl peeps? We're gonna be talking about jazz today. This is video number 2. I am Darren Bodine and live here in Central Illinois. And it's kind of free flow. I really not for sure what we're gonna be talking about in terms of specifics, but got some jazz records, some tone poets, Blue Note reissues that I wanted to talk about. Got this new one, this new Chet Baker. But first off, hope you all are doing well. Enjoying some time to relax and spend time with family, wash your hands, social distance yourself from people. Just think about that. Like a week ago, we didn't even know what that term meant. So crazy times, but let's all enjoy some music and relax and slow down a little bit and appreciate things. Appreciate your loved ones. Appreciate some great music and time. So anyway, no agenda today. Just kind of gonna tell you a little bit about what I think about some records. I started listening to jazz. Actually, I play the drums, and I was in a jazz band in 8th grade, actually through high school as well, but it was not a serious jazz band, so my jazz chops are not good. But I do play the drums, and I appreciate just the drumming in jazz, and I think that's what got me started on it. But in college, one of my best friends and roommate played the keyboard, and he took a couple classes and played in a jazz band and got me started on real jazz. And one of the first guys I remember listening to was Chet Baker. Chet plays the trumpet, and he also has just an amazing smooth voice. That's who we're listening to right now. I remember the first time I heard it, I'm like, okay, Chet was on the cover, he had a trumpet, and I heard some trumpet playing, and then I heard this amazing voice come on, and I'm like, well, who's singing? And I'm like, it's actually the same guy. I'm like, how can you be that talented at both? But he is. So not all of Chet's stuff I love, but this Tone Poet reissue that just came out, Chet Baker Sings, is just phenomenal. It really is. It's like I've just got it yesterday. Been listening to it, and it first off, the sound is killer. It is just dead quiet. The remaster, if you don't know about these Tone Poet remasters, they're all cut and remastered from the original analog tapes, and remastered by Kevin Gray, who just does a fantastic job on these. But man, it is quiet. The detail and the things you can hear and the warmth is just amazing. So I've got a few other Tone Poets that I have, but this one, just to give you an example, the other thing about these Tone Poets, just the packaging is fantastic and gorgeous, and they just did a phenomenal job. Just real heavy cardstock. There's the back. That gives you the story about the recording. Who plays on this? Chet Baker, of course, Russ Freeman on piano, James Bond, come on, James Bond on the bass, gotta be good, right? Peter Littman and Lawrence Marble played drums on a couple of the tracks. So, but you look at this, still got the crack, that new gatefold crack, but I mean the photography is just fantastic. All of the Tone Poets, just really fun to look at and even better to listen to. So this one's fantastic. You've probably heard some of these songs, but My Funny Valentine is just a key song on this record that I love. But the rest of it is just great trumpet playing, even better vocals in my opinion. So a couple other ones. I got this one around Christmas time. Andrew Hill, Black Fire. Come on. Again, look at that album cover. Andrew Hill on the piano, Joe Henderson, tenor sax, Richard Davis on the bass, and Roy Haynes on the drums. Roy's fantastic jazz drummer. Again, mastered by Kevin Gray. And this is probably, it's a toss-up. maybe my favorite. I do like this other one. It's Cornbread. Come on. Cornbread, Lee Morgan. I like anything Lee puts out, actually. So, but this one, I don't know. If an album, if these jazz recordings can sound like the name, I don't know. It kind of does. It's got a little bit of a funk kind of bebop thing going on to it, but really fantastic packaging again. Let's see inside of this one. I mean, look at that. That is just stunning. I'm a photographer as well, so a good portrait in black and white like that is just not as easy as it looks, people. So there's the other side. Again, just fantastic stuff. Cornbread, Lee Morgan. If you don't have it, it's a good place to start on these tone poets. Andrew Hill as well. One more I got is Kenny Burrell, and this is, I don't know, they're all good. I can't pick a favorite, I guess, but on this one, Kenny Burrell, Tommy Flanagan plays the piano, Paul Chambers on the bass, Kenny Clark on the drums, and Candido on the conga drum. Just one name, Candido. But Kenny playing the guitar. Man, if you like guitar and you like jazz and you don't have this record, introducing Kenny Burrell is a good one to get. Take a look at the inside of these again. Beautiful Blue Note label, 180 gram vinyl. Again, just super quiet. Oh, look at that. Come on now. Go to the other side. Just amazing. That must be Candido there on the conga. So anyway, these tone poets, these reissues are put out. I actually have another special reissue that they've been doing. This is Music Matters. It's this SRX. These are kind of pricey. I love them, but I can't afford $75 for a jazz album. And speaking of that, if you watch a lot of the folks in the vinyl community talk about jazz records, and there's a lot of just amazing collectors out there talking about first press, and some of these blue notes are really hard to find, and they sound amazing, but it's very pricey to get into that. And so if you're just wanting to learn about jazz and maybe just pick up some amazing sounding records, these tone poets are a great way to go because they're very reasonable. You're stepping it up when you go to this SRX. SRX is like that's kind of a super quiet vinyl. Let me show you this. It's I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's actually kind of transparent. You should be able to see. That's the wrong way. I don't know if you can see that or not, but actually you can kind of see through it, so it's not like the regular flat black vinyl. And these sound good too, but I did some side-by-side comparisons, and some of these tone poets, actually I think they're a little more quiet in just terms of surface noise. I actually was a little surprised that the SRX wasn't quieter. Still sounds fantastic. I mean, it sounds great, but there's just a little bit of noise there. So still love it. And I'm sure I'll pick up more of these, but hey, one other thing, and I don't remember, I picked this up from somebody in the vinyl community. If you want to learn about jazz and who the players are, what are the essential recordings, what are some of the classic albums you might want to get, the All Music Guide to Jazz, the definitive guide to jazz is, I think, the actual title, but it's from the All Music Guide series of books. And this sucker's thick. I mean, there is so much information here. It's like a encyclopedia of jazz recordings, and so it's got every artist and pretty much all of the recordings that they've put out, and it gives them some ratings, and it just tells you who plays on it, and it's really fantastic if you're wanting to find someone that you hear that you like, but you don't know what other recordings they put out. Great place, great resource. I picked this up, I think, used on Amazon. Wasn't too bad, but really great resource. So anyway, that's about it. I hope this was educational, maybe, I don't know. Just hopefully it gave you a little bit of an insight of jazz. I've got a lot of other stuff. Mostly the jazz I have is older recordings, older releases. I don't have a lot of first press stuff, but I do have some, and always looking for jazz. And the thing I like about it is a lot of it I haven't heard, so you're exploring, and it's just been fun to get back into it. So anyway, hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk with you soon. See ya.